Welcome back, everyone. Great to be here with you today on the Integrative Health Coach Success Podcast, episode 132. For today's 3 big takeaways, plus all of the different show notes and links, head on over to ihp.coach/132. All right, let's dive into today's show. I want to share with you something that's been really successful inside of IHP, especially IHP Mastery and the business mentorship experience. Neither one of those programs are available right now inside of IHP, but what I want to do is share with you one of the things that we do in both of those groups that anyone right now listening to this, whether you're in IHP or not, can replicate in your own life. So I think back to my days, back in my early personal training days. So when I was in college, that was a totally different story. I was a personal trainer in college, but I was really learning through watching other personal trainers, like when I was in the gym, because I was only 18 years old, 19 years old, but also reading a lot of books. And just, again, even back in college, I'd love to read books outside of my school books. But that isn't when my real study began. My real study began when I got a full-time job at 22 years old as a full-time nutritionist and personal trainer at a nice high-end exclusive health club. I literally had no business being hired, no business like whatsoever being hired. I don't know how I got hired, but I did, and that was a big break for me. So I was the youngest person there, essentially. There was 2 of us that are 22 years old. And I've told this story many times, but there's personal trainers in their 30s and 40s and even 50s. And I just I'd never even thought that was possible. That was very naive, again, inexperienced, coming from, living in Medford, Massachusetts. Nothing wrong with Medford, Massachusetts, just there was a Planet Fitness there. That was about it. And then, going to undergrad in Providence. So, when I look at this, I say, how did I try to advance quickly when I was 22? Okay, so I asked everyone questions. Now, it was kind of easier for me because I was 22 years old. I was the young one. And so it wasn't strange for me to be asking older people like, hey, tell me about this, tell me about that, why you're choosing this. And I got to also look at all the different programs they were creating. I wasn't yet NASM certified at 22. I got that same year after I joined this particular gym. But anyway, I learned a lot. I learned a real lot. But my growth accelerated the fastest when every single Wednesday afternoon, I went with my friend Keith over to, and it could be any personal trainers, but we went to Mike Boyle's, so Coach Boyle, when he was over at Boston University. We didn't do this every week, but I remember we did it at least, a good dozen times. And we would watch him run through training the women's hockey team. And I know he's working with a bunch of different athletes over there. And we would actually see him go through the dynamic warm-ups. And this is, year 2000, somewhere around there. And then we would watch go through the different workouts and how the workouts were arranged and why there was different circuits and different groups going on. Then we saw people using Airdyne bikes back in 2000. Nobody was doing that, right? And so I'm like, what are they doing? Well, they're doing interval sprints. Well, nobody was doing interval sprints on Airdyne bikes in 2000. Again, except for obviously great coaches doing that. And so that was a great experience. And so after the workouts were done, Coach Boyle would generously give us like 10, 15 minutes just to ask him questions. And then we would talk with his coaches as well. So that was incredible. That was an amazing experience. I learned a lot, opened my eyes, and then I had a lot of great relationships come from there. I would go to different Perform Better conferences and chat with all that. And then, it's funny, but years later, then I would actually present with some of these same people. And so, it's funny how the world works. And so, wherever you're at right now, I was at the very, very bottom. Don't think that one day you may not be up there teaching as well. So that's just how the world works if you continue just to push yourself to get better for you and for your clients. That's really what it's all about. But this story reminded me, though, just of how I used to do it back then. It wasn't necessarily as formal, except that I will say 2 times a week, me and about 3 other guys from that gym. There was 33 of us that got hired at the same time, which is pretty wild in its own right. Talk about, competition. But we used to work out together. And so we would talk about, this is what we love to do. I mean, this is our full-time job. And this was a high-end facility. So they the personal trainers there were, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean they're the best of the best, but they were people who took their job really seriously. And they were ACM certified, NASM certified, even back in 2000, NSCA certified, and they had a lot of different skills and backgrounds. So we would just talk shop, and that's what we did. And I find that less and less of that happens today, especially in a virtual-based world. So what we made a requisite with IHP Mastery and IHP, the Business Mentorship Institute, Experience, is that we have everybody buddy up. So these are small programs, they're 30 people or less. That's how we keep them. And so there's 15 study buddies. That's it. We just call them study buddies. Call it whatever you want. But what it's meant to do is it's meant for you to pick one other individual that you're going to be accountable, and they're going to be accountable to you. And you're going to meet, and you're going to be open with them, and you're just going to share, not in a big group setting. Why wouldn't you do it in a group setting? Well, you might feel embarrassed about a question that you have to ask. And it shouldn't be embarrassing, but nevertheless, it holds most people back from asking that question. I have people all the time. I do group chats with people all the time, Q&As, and they immediately direct message me hey, I didn't want to ask this in front of the group. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And it's it's not a bad question to ask. Nobody has all the answers. I say that all the time on my podcast, on the Cabral Concept. I literally say listen, I've read over 3,000 books. I've done this for 25 years. I don't pretend to have all the answers. I don't. I study hard. I still research to this day. I still read books to this day. I still love to learn. And I always say, I will never have all the answers. And so never feel oh, just because you didn't have the answer doesn't mean you don't know what you're talking about. Well, again, there are people who have 20 more years education than me. Look at Dr. Amen, right? I'm sure he's still learning things about the brain. He's probably not done yet, right? So that's how I look at it. And so I just find this remarkable. So I wanted to share with you today, even if you're not a part of IHP, or if you're an IHP level 1 or level 2, we want to start instituting this. We're not going to make it mandatory for IHP level 1 or level 2, but here's how I want you to set up your own study buddy. And I want you to do this in personal training, in chiropractic. You can do it while you're in grad school, or you can do it with nurses. We have a lot of nurses coming into IHP as well, and you want to study something besides conventional medicine. So you're starting to learn integrative health, right? Functional medicine. So what I want you to do is just pick your field, whatever it is. It could be kinesiotaping. It could be anything, right? So you choose the topic. All right. So here's what we want to do. I'm giving you 5 steps here to set this up. This is, again, a lot of people will listen to this. Maybe people will think it's a good idea, but not everybody. Most people won't implement it. I want you to implement it. All right. So here's what you're going to do. And it's going to skyrocket your success. It really is. I'm going to share with you why. So 5 steps. The first is this: match up with one person. Just one person. It should be someone that you feel comfortable talking with. That's it. Honestly, that's it. Find someone that you feel you have something in common with. That's all. Or find someone that is radically different than you. You might find that really helpful. So for example, if you're a male and you're working with a lot of female clientele, find a female study buddy. Absolutely. I mean, I think that would be a great idea. And so they can give you feedback from a female standpoint as well. So definitely that could work as well. Again, just find some person that you resonate with again. Now, let's say you don't resonate with anybody. You don't know anybody. It's all virtual. Just put your name out there then. Say, hey, I'm looking for a study buddy. Does anybody want to? And I'll go over meeting times in just a moment. That's it. Here are the things that I enjoy. Here are the things that I enjoy studying. Here's what my niche is going to be. And that's it. And again, you don't need to work with someone in your own niche. Okay. So besides that, people well, can I talk with other people in the group? So in IHP Mastery, can I work with others in a group? Absolutely. But you only have one study buddy. And I'm going to share with you why in just a moment. So you can definitely get feedback from multiple people, and you should. 100%. That's part of the benefit of the IHP Facebook groups. You have a problem, or your client has a problem. You don't state their name. You state the problem. Here's what you're working on to help them with. Any other suggestions? And you get suggestions from the whole group, right? So that's nice. But You only can have one study buddy. And here's why. You're going to set up a weekly appointment. Okay. It's going to be 1 hour every week, not 15 hours a week. It's going to be something realistic. You're going to say, okay, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern, this is when we're going to meet. Does that work for you? Yes, it works for you. Great. We're going to schedule that out forever. Like that's it. We can mutually say like when we want to stop working together, or you might set a timeline over the next 6 months. Okay. Hey, we're going to see how it goes for the next 3 months or 6 months. Do it at least 3 months, at least 12 weeks. I'll talk about that in a moment. And just 1 hour to start, because 2 hours can be a big part of your day. Do 1 hour. All right. So you each get 30 minutes. All right. So you just each week alternate who goes first. That's really it. So 30 minutes for each of you. And that is how you're going to lay things out. Now, here's one suggestion. The 30 minutes is basically questions that you have that you want to bounce off someone else, or what you're thinking about in your niche, you're thinking about with your avatar, you're thinking about for social media, you're thinking about all these different things, okay? And you're bouncing them off your study buddy. But, and I'm going to share this in step number 5, you're also going to want to do role playing. Because you're not going to feel comfortable doing this more and more with clients until you get comfortable just doing it in general. So you're going to role play with your study buddy. So if it's a free consultation, that's 20 to 30 minutes. Great. If it's a personal training free consultation, it might be an hour. So, and then you're going to also practice your consultations, right? So those are going to be hour. So all it means is, okay, this Wednesday, person A is going to go. Next Wednesday, person B is going to go. So you each get a full hour. So that's how you're going to do it. And then you can email back and forth. You have each other's email. You can set up, you can chat however you want. You can just direct message, whatever you like. So that's an easy way to do it. And you can provide feedback in that way. Okay, so that's that was step number 2. Okay, so you can kind of rotate weeks if needed. And then step number 3 is this: be open and honest. Okay, here's why study buddies don't work a lot of the time. Because people are like, oh, that sounds like an amazing idea. Oh, that's so great. You did a great job. I've never heard a better consultation before in my life. Like, you can't do that, okay? So your study buddies, and this is private, one-on-one for a reason, all right? This is for the two of you to yes, high five, virtual high five, no doubt about it. Cheer each other on, absolutely. But you have to provide constructive feedback. So an example would be you're doing the free consultation and you're letting the person go through it, and you can decide however you want. You can say to your study buddy, hey, interrupt me if it starts to get a little awkward or I said something you didn't like, or wait till I get through the whole thing and then give me a critique at the end, however you want to do it. So your study buddy might be taking notes the whole time. They might be like, everything was going great. And then when you started talking about pricing, like your voice went an extra octave higher and you started talking really fast and you weren't looking at me in the eye anymore. And that you would have no idea. You would literally have no idea necessarily that you were doing that. You maybe felt that you got nervous, but you didn't know that was happening. So your study buddy will just be there to say it to you, because again, you have to be honest. Because here's the thing, if you know that, you know you can overcome it. And that just takes practice, honestly, practice, right? So compliment, constructive feedback, compliment. That's called the sandwich technique. I think I've chatted about that before. All right. Step number 4 is this: record your sessions together. All right. You can sign an agreement. You're not going to share these anywhere, ever, anytime, for eternity, right? You can keep them in one shared Dropbox folder, and then you can delete the folder whenever you choose, right? And and I'm going to go over this next week, so don't miss next. Let me just make sure of that. Do not miss next Monday's podcast on how to get better at speaking and video and all that. All right. This is going to be part of it though, but I want you to record your sessions together. I want you, especially when you're doing role playing. So it's not just like, oh, I forgot what this person said. It was great feedback in the moment. I didn't remember. I didn't write it down. Well, that's why you record them, right? It's just 60 minutes. You can fast forward through it to whatever part you want. But when you are doing your role playing and you're doing your consultations, it's like game film. Business is not radically different than professional athletics. Amateurs, they don't watch game film, right? Professionals, all they do is watch game film. Like they watch game film for like 20 hours a week. And so you're just saying, oh, I didn't know I was doing that. Oh, wow, that could be better. I had no idea that when I was writing, my head was down the whole time. So I need to improve that. So it's just small things like that. Record it. Again, be gentle with yourself, but make notations of where you can get better, okay? And the fifth step is this. Set goals for the outcome of what you are looking to achieve from the outset of your study buddy partnership, right? So you want to set goals for the next 6 to 12 weeks. And you're going to roll out a map, literally a roadmap for what you're going to work on. Now, you have the flexibility to change it whenever you'd like. But let me give you some examples, all right? This is what we do inside of BME. So the business mentorship experience, we take people from having really no business at all or just getting started in a career in health to ramping them up to literally having a full business within 6 months. So I'm going to give you some of that right now, though. So I want you to do is I want you to map out this game plan to then have some topics to talk about each week. Like, hey, John, great to be talking about. Oh, how the kids? Great. Hey, how the weather been? Have you gone to any Red Sox games? Like, no. Like, you're there. Sure, you can have 1 minute of talking and catching up, no doubt about it. But get down to what you're there for. You're there to improve your career. You're there to improve your business. Do a separate call for a personal call. No doubt about it. No problem with that. I do that, actually. I do that all the time. Like, friends of mine, like when we're talking about business, we talk about business. And then other times we're texting and chatting just about, personal stuff. So here's the thing. So things to work on together with your study buddy. Your social media account. You will take 30 minutes to go through each other's Instagram. What could be improved? Profile, links, etc. Then you're going to go through each other's websites. 30 minutes. How's the experience when you're landing your website? You're going to be like, John, I have no idea where to sign up for the free consultation, right? Then you're going to look at the software for the website. Is it automated? Can I schedule automatically? Is there a way to contact you? Do I know where you live? Is this virtual or is this in person? I don't know. That's why you need someone on the outside providing honest feedback. Then you're going to look at the person's free consultation system. Like, how do I sign up? How is that instituted? Is it over Skype? Is it over Zoom? Is it through iBowen? Like, how does it work, right? Then you're going to go over a consultation together, a free consultation over like a role playing, then consultation role playing. Then you're going to go over what packages that you're going to develop with the person. So it can be once a month, once a week, however you want to do it, right? Then you're going to talk about referrals. How do you get referrals? And then you're going to talk about becoming an ambassador for different companies you like and earning a commission promoting things that you already use and already recommend anyway. So those are just some ideas, and you're welcome to, of course, go back, listen to this, write them down. But this is really how you set yourself up for success. It is free to work with another person, right? That person is, maybe they're a little bit ahead of you and they want to give you a little help. Or maybe you're both at the same level starting out. You can both provide feedback. Right? You're both human beings. You both know what it'd be like to be a client, so you can provide what a client would be seeing at the same time. I just think that this is a phenomenal way to improve yourself to then be able to provide a better service to your clients. If you provide a better service to your clients, you're going to get more clients, more retention, and more referrals, and that's how you grow your business and career as well. So hopefully this was helpful. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Any other ideas for the podcast, feel free to send them in at support@ihp.coach, or you can just direct message us as well. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk with you soon.